on the Bossman Show. I tell you what, guys, our man Coach Tyndall, he's toughing out with us today. He's a little under the weather, but he's here for us no matter what. That's our guy, Coach Tyndall. Coach Tyndall, I know you're not feeling too great. They don't show it, even though you're not feeling too good, man.
You got it, guys. You know I went next to tomorrow.
I got that with John. Can you recap this week's standings as we go into these week's games, my brother?
Well, last week we had our 3 games. Michigan State ended up losing JR to Michigan, so we all went chalk on that. We all picked Michigan State, so we took the L on that. Then the next game we had was North Carolina, Notre Dame, and you and I took North Carolina. Coach took Notre Dame, which turned out to be a loser. Notre Dame took the L on that one, so Coach dropped a game there. And then the final game, we all picked Kentucky, which was, I believe, JR a winner. And we all picked up a win on that one. So if you got the final tally there, let me know where we stand as far as the record's concerned.
5-4, JR and John, and Coach Tyndall 4-5.
Yeah, so we picked up a couple on you, Coach.
I'm still in striking distance, man.
I
always told my team, keep it close and I'll win it for you the last 4 minutes.
There you go. Be like a viper. He's ready to strike.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, this week we have a rematch of SEC football championship game. Georgia and Auburn on the plains of Auburn, Alabama. Mark Fox is scratching and clawing. Going to save his job at Georgia up at Athens. Bruce Pearl under a cloud of things being stuff like FBI. In this game right here, guys, just on my relationship with Bruce Pearl, and I'm going to go with him on this. They've been on a hot streak here. I feel like playing at home. Auburn playing all the hype to play Georgia. I play at home. This would make a difference for Auburn Tigers with Bruce Pearl, the coach is off this year. So I feel like in that regard, we're going Auburn on my end. I don't know what coach was about the game, but I'll let you guys break it down from there, guys.
Well, I'm going to go with you. I had a see Coach Pearl's team work out a couple of days this summer and went down and spent some with him and talked ball. And I could tell this was going to be the most talented team that he's had. And those early season distractions certainly concerned everybody, but I think he's handled everything phenomenally well. His team is playing hard. They're playing together. I know Georgia's got some heat on them as well, and so they're fighting every day like they're literally fighting for their jobs, and so they're going to have a sense of urgency as well. But I just think Auburn at home, the way they've been playing, they're all kind of us against the world kind of battle cry. It seems like they're going with, and it's working, and I think it's going to work against the Bulldogs on Saturday.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm going to stick with the two of you. I'm going to pick Auburn as well. So we're going to go chalk on that game now. Game number 2, Coach. Tennessee, South Carolina. Volunteers currently looking at 21 ranked in the country. They've won 3 of their last 5. South Carolina's won 3 of their last 5 as well, including 2 in a row coming into this game. So it should be a good matchup. I personally am going to pick the Volunteers on this one. I like what they've got going on a little more. They're on a hot streak, and I think that they're going to be able to handle South Carolina this week. What say you, Coach?
That game is at South Carolina, right, John?
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's the difference for me. I think these are 2 teams that are very similar, 2 teams that don't have, the prototypical 6'11", 7-foot big guys. They got some undersized guys that play extremely hard. My 1 year at Tennessee, we went to South Carolina and won. With the team we had, it was shocking because I think that South Carolina is always one of the toughest teams in America. And I think their toughness and the fact that they're on their home field will be the difference. Because I think these teams are really evenly matched. If you play in the game in Knoxville, I'd probably, go with Tennessee. But I'm going to go with South Carolina and Coach Martin.
Coach Martin, friend of the show. I love talking to Coach Martin. I'm sure it's similar heritage for us being from the Caribbean. So I'm definitely going to go with Coach Martin this week, guys. So, John, you enjoyed the long wolf taking the Tennessee Volunteers. I want a Tennessee State, John. You should never pick Tennessee or Vanderbilt on this show.
I know, but Okay, I'm going to tell you what. Now, just for that comment, if my boys pull through this week and I pick up a game on you there, I'm going to rub it in a little bit, all right?
Yes. I got you, John. Now, the only Tennessee school that I will ever not get mad about you picking is MTSU because of Coach Davis and how he's looked at the show and a good friend of mine. So he's going up to Bowling Green. MTSU's playing at West Kentucky. Rick Stansberry, who won't come on the show, wants to put it out there. Rick does not come on the show. So that means, just off GP, and after that, Giddy Potts will be on fire this game, I believe. That MTSU and Coach Davis go up to Bowling Green, get that win. Can I see 65-24? Be like Mike Murfreesboro on MTSU Boulevard, having a good victory party and a great weekend.
Well, I'm with you. You know, Coach Davis, my best friend and a mentor of mine. Worked for him for 5 years, or 4 years, I guess, at Middle and 4 at LSU with him. But he does an outstanding job. And, you know, they've dominated that series that is a huge rivalry game to each fan base for a lot of years, you know. And that was probably a big reason that Ray Harper wasn't retained, was because Tennessee was going to NCAA tournaments and winning games. And Western Kentucky used to do that, but hasn't done it in a while. With that being said, I think that Rick Stansberry has certainly closed the gap. He's signed some really good players that off the nice start. It's in Bowling Green, which is always a tough place to play. But at the end of the day, I think Coach Davis's toughness and grit and that team takes on the personality of their coach, which is a tough, hard-nosed guy. I'm going to go with the Blue Raiders, even though it's on the road, to beat Western Kentucky once again.
All right, fellas. Well, our top threes in the book, we got 3 guys picking Auburn, so we're chalk against Georgia there. 2 guys picking South Carolina. I went lone wolf and was maligned for it by JR picking Tennessee. And then we all picked MTSU rightfully in the final game against Western Kentucky. So it looks like we're pretty much squared up as we were last week, except I'm the lone wolf this week. So we'll see what happens come next week.
I'm guaranteed to be on top no matter what. I'm guaranteed to be on top still.
Listen, quit using your math skills on us, okay, JR? Math, witchcraft, all right?
Coach, get done this week, man. Hope we get this win this week, man. You this week, Coach, you and I against John. So hope we get this win this week, Coach, and we'll get back at this week, man.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Have a great week now.
Tyndall and Bossman Show.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
It's the king.
the Jared the Bossman Show with John Beckler. We have a great guest for you, coach of the Georgia Southern Eagles down there in Statesboro, a little down the road from here. It's from Georgia Southern, Coach Mark Byington here on the Bossman Show. Coach Byington, how are things in Statesboro for you, man?
Well, it's a little warmer in Atlanta. We didn't get much snow, but it's good to be in Atlanta. We always love coming down.
Coach, I had 3 inches in my backyard, man. I hated every inch of it.
Yeah, well, half my team's allergic to snow, so I'm glad we play indoors.
Me too, Coach. I'm a Florida boy at heart, so I hate snow with a passion.
Yeah, we can definitely relate. Half my team's from there.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, congrats on your 5-1 start in conference play after Tukey Brown's late jumpers against Appalachian State, Coach. Aside from Tukey's jumpers in the end, Coach, what are the key factors to you guys getting that game pulled out there at Appalachian State there on this past Saturday?
Well, there's been some times this year where, luck's gone against us, and sometimes this year where luck went for us. And, we had a chance to put it up 3 and actually missed a decently easy shot. And then they came down the court, and I couldn't control anything, and they missed a wide-open 3 and a tip in there that wasn't quite easy. But we had a little fortune on our side. And at the same time, it's a long season. We're about to hit our 20th game on Saturday. And a couple times this year in our 5 losses, we've had some last-second heartbreakers, but that was one of the last-second ones that ended in the right way for us.
Now, Coach, as that game played out, coming in and winning that game down the stretch, is that something that you guys emphasize as a staff to the players and is finishing games strong and making sure that that's something that's a conversation you have with them kind of on a weekly basis, or is it something you touch on periodically?
No, we actually do it a lot. We spend a lot of time on situations, and as a coach, you try to let the guys just know what we'll do in that situation. So I won't always have a timeout, or sometimes I'll have a timeout and not choose to use it. But even the first game of the year, we went up and beat Wake Forest, and it came down to us, making some free throws at the end and then having to get a stop at the end to keep them from winning. So we were able to do Wake Forest, and we've had them throughout the year. We played Arkansas Little Rock here, and Tukey Brown hit a game-winning 3-pointer that ended the game. And so we in South Alabama, just a week and a half before that, we actually had a chance, a wide-open 3 to win that game, missed it, but with great execution. So you practice them the best you can. And one thing that helps us right now is I got some guys who played a lot of basketball, our juniors and seniors, and they know what I expect and what to do in a situation.
Coach, I wanted to kind of drill down a little bit deeper on that point. We saw in this past weekend's NFL playoff games where there was that big play in the Saints-Vikings game, and the Saints had a hiccup on defense, and there was some situational unawareness on that play that allowed them to lose that game. So it's something that can be taken for granted, I suppose, by players. And how do you get them to without being in the situation? How do you get them to grasp the gravity of it when you're actually in that situation and really have them understand it?
Well, you need guys who don't get caught up in the moment, but just get caught up in what they're supposed to do and doing their job. And sometimes people try to do something different, and because the clock's going down or whatever might be the situation. And the sad thing is experience is the best teacher at that, but sometimes the experience you're going to get is going to be a bad result to be able to learn from it. And my guys right now are, I got 3 juniors that start and 2 seniors that start. Well, the seniors that started ever since they're freshmen, and so have the juniors. So these guys have started a lot of basketball. But there's been some growing pains. And I watched the football game you're talking about, and it's heartbreaking as a coach and as a player, to go ahead and go through however long the game is and to have one play be the talking point of the game or deciding point of the game, whether it be a missed field goal kick or, a missed tackle or on the other end, you want to work on the positive situations where this is what we do and this is how we handle things. And one thing I emphasize to our guys, that we're not going to worry about the result. We're just going to do what's right and live with the result. So if we take the right shot or make the right defensive play and they do something that's great, take your hat off to them and move on. But you want to make sure you do what's right and put yourself in the best opportunity to win those games.
We're joined by Mark Byington here on the Bossman Show from Georgia State Southern. The Eagles, they'll be in Atlanta and Georgia State this weekend playing the Georgia State Panthers. Come out and see the game, folks. It's going to be a big game, Georgia State, Georgia Southern. The 2 GSUs, guys, State versus Southern. Come see them play this weekend. Now, Coach, I know a lot of teams in non-conference slate hates playing Georgia State due to the myriad of zones, around 100 employees. So how helpful has it been to you and your staff that you have a full week to prepare for him and all his zones that he plays?
Well, their zone is, it's unique, and it is one of the best you see in the country. They give you a couple different looks and have some adjustments to it. And the only thing that ever helps us out is, we've had some guys on our team go against it before, but they're so good at adjusting. Sometimes as soon as you kind of find a crack in it, they'll fix it and make you have to go to something else. So it's a very good defense. And, we played them at home last year, and we were able to make a lot of shots and do some great things against it. And then we actually played them in a Sun Belt championship game, and it was 38-36, and neither team could score on each other, and their zone was great that day. So it is a bear. You like to prepare for it, but you don't want to overthink it. But it is one of the more unique and tougher defenses you go throughout the year.
So, Coach, we touched on Tookie Brown a little bit previously in the interview, and I'm just curious to know, how big has he been for you this season? Averaging 18 points a game, about 4 boards and assists per game. What has it meant to the team to have him playing at a high level?
Well, he's done it for ever since he's gotten here. As a freshman, he was the first-team all-conference point guard, and as a sophomore, did the same type deal. And now as a junior, the difference is not so much just his play and all he's doing, but it's his demeanor and what he's able to help the guys around him do. So his leadership role and his ownership of the team is at another level right now, because even when he got here, almost the first or second game of the year, his freshman year, he was already good, but he just knew how to be good kind of within himself and his kind of box. But now he's expanded to making other guys better.
And, Coach, also evaluating your team stats, Coach, I see it jump off the page to me. You balance scoring, balance rebound just off the page at me, real big. So, Coach, is sharing the basketball and attacking the glass two elements that you and your staff really have honed down with the guys to be focusing on throughout every game this season?
Well, we did spend a lot of time on our kind of like summer development, and then emphasis was on 3 things, and you mentioned 2 of them. It was rebounding, it was defense, and it was toughness. And, we got off to a great start last year. We were 7-0 in the league, and then hit a tough stretch down the end where, those 3 things didn't show. We weren't always tough. We didn't always rebound, didn't always play defense. And right now we're leading the Sun Belt in defensive field goal percentage defense and 3-point field goal percentage defense. And we're much better on rebounding. But, one thing that we've, talked to our team about is the last couple of times that we've been at Georgia State, they've dominated us in rebounding, so we can't let that happen again, because the last 2 years we've lost in overtime and in a game that was a possession game towards the end of it, and I think rebounding was a big part of it.
Coach, I just wanted to drill down a little bit into that and how you get the result from your players, like specifically on the glass. We have a lot of young coaches that listen to the program, whether it be in high school, AAU, what have you. For them, how do you get your players, to be strong on the glass? What are some of the things that you emphasize, and how have you had success at doing that maybe they can use and translate into their own programs?
Well, sometimes there's, when you're a coach and you don't have this, I can't afford this when you're at high school. Sometimes you recruit guys who have a natural instinct for rebounding, and guys who know where the ball is going to go, or that are physical, that have good hands. And then other times, you got to build a team up with technique. And I think the best rebounding teams in the country, kind of have a mixture of the technique, and then you got some natural guys who can go get the ball out of their area. We don't have those guys that are out of area rebounds, so we've had to be much better at technique and making sure we box out and check out every time the ball goes up.
Now, Coach, I just wanted to get a little bit of insight from you on the quality of teams and coaching in the league. The Sun Belt Conference may not be a conference that a lot of people are familiar with. JR and I our listenership is to a degree. So what's your feeling on the quality of play, the coaching in the league, and then how you guys fit into that mix and presenting the quality product that we see week in and week out?
Well, I think you mentioned it. It's underrated. Last year there's 32 Division I conferences, and it was ranked the 13th conference out of 32. And there's been our league's been, guys been going to the NBA and being successful out of our league. And also you've seen in the NCAA tournament, Georgia State goes in and they get an NCAA tournament win. Arkansas Little Rock, the year after that goes in and gets an NCAA tournament win. And so you've seen that with guys winning out of conference games against Power 5 schools and doing that. But until you get 2 teams in the NCAA tournament, that's usually when the respect changes. And we're searching for that. And guys got to win enough games non-conference and then kind of handle business in conference. But that's always a challenge for a league like ours because it's much better than sometimes people know represented. And if you're interested, go watch one of these games close up, and you'll see the athleticism and these these other teams got great coaches and then do things. So it's not easy, but it's like everybody else. They always say the tough league to win is the one you're in. Well, some it's really hard to win in. It's a challenge every single night.
And, Coach, how does it make you feel knowing that every senior you graduated since you took over at Georgia Southern in 2013? How does it make you feel as being the head coach of the program and knowing the guys that come through your program these past few years that you've been there?
Well, it's important to me. I was raised with an educational background. My mom's elementary school principal, and my brother's a professor. And, before I had kind of decided I wanted to be a college basketball coach, so I thought my career path was going to be a teacher and a college professor myself. And I just missed basketball too much. But I want guys to leave, our program, and, they can make all the jump shots they want and do all the things they want to do there. But the bigger picture is, I want them to be able to do something when basketball is over for them. And that's been implemented to me. It's important of education, what you get away from it, and doors that open for you. And so we spend a lot of time in our program emphasizing that, and then also the life skills that they're going to need to kind of be successful once the ball does stop bouncing.
And, Coach, it must be helpful for you when you go to recruit kids at Georgia Southern that, hey, you can tote your record of how all my seniors graduate. That I don't have seniors who don't get. I get your son a degree if he comes to play for me. So it has to help you in recruiting a lot when you're talking to these families and parents.
Yeah, you get the types of families a lot of times where they'll want you to talk about education, and then it kind of switches over to basketball. And the only promises I ever make, I never make a promise to a parent or a kid that you're going to come in and start or play or do that. But we do come in when we tell them that we're going to be sure that they're going to graduate. And that's something we're going to stay on, and we're never going to leave one behind or let one not do it, that we'll take away basketball from them. And we've had to do that before just to make sure that their priorities are in order. And then once their priorities are in order, then the basketball takes care of itself.
Well, Coach Byington, you've been great there on the show. We kept a little longer than we usually do, but you've been so good. We want to definitely talk to you some more, man. Coach, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday at the game here. Wish you all the best of luck up there at Georgia State on Saturday. Look forward to seeing you Saturday, man, at GS Sports Arena.
Yeah, thanks. Should be a fun game. Appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, folks. It's Mark Byington on the Bossman Show.
Fantasy football season is fast approaching, and if you're looking for an edge this season, you need to contact the guys at Draft Day Consultants. The concept is a simple one. Draft Day Consultants takes your requests and connects you with one of their trusted analysts, who then guide you through your draft, whether you just need a sounding board on decisions, or if you need them to conduct your entire draft. Draft Day Consultants has you covered. Every one of their consultants has a proven track record of success, and have conducted hundreds, even thousands of mock drafts. Thanks to this year-round research and analysis, the guys at DDC have an unmatched understanding of player values. So gain an edge on your league mates this season by hitting up draftdayconsultants.com. That's www.draftdayconsultants.com. Now get after it, fantasy footballers.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.
Productions.
Bossman Show, winning the season of reviews, previews, and recaps. So, since we're in mid-January here, and now we're heading towards the NBA All-Star break, over 40 games for most teams in the league. So let's talk about the East Conference's mid-season review right now, or recap. How you want to look at it? And right now in the Eastern Conference, John, if the playoffs ended this weekend, we're having playoffs Boston, Toronto, Cleveland, Miami, Washington, the Pacers, Milwaukee, and Detroit. But not far off is Philadelphia, the Knicks, and the Hornets. Even the Bulls are kind of in touch distance of the 8th playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, John. So just off of that alone, just those teams and seeing how the Kyrie Irving trades kind of helped out Boston. Toronto's got younger and is playing more open. Cleveland's gotten older, and you have LeBron James kind of chirping about how challenging it is. Miami's still been all Eric Spoelstra. Washington Wizards up and down as always. Indiana with Nate McMillan after losing Paul George still in the mix. Milwaukee, Jason Kidd always in the mix as well. And the Pistons under my man Stan Van Gundy, a.k.a. Ron Jeremy, doing his thing in the Pistons.
Well, the thing that jumps out at me the most is the Knicks, okay? So the Knicks, Sixers, and Pistons are all kind of going to be fighting for that last spot. I feel like the Bucks and the Pacers will end up kind of separating themselves out into that 6-7 area. So to me, the first 6-7 teams are kind of set for the playoffs, and you've got the Knicks, Sixers, and Pistons kind of fighting for that last 8th spot, potentially 7th spot, depending on what happens. You know, the Bucks could falter and then kind of come back to the pack a little bit, but I'm surprised personally by the Knicks, and I want to get your feel. We'll have to get the Bone on to see what he thinks about the season they're having here as we get a little bit further along in the campaign to see what he thinks about the Knicks. But where do you see them coming out? Do you think that they're going to be able to kind of push closer to 500 and then keep it there, or do you think that they're going to kind of fade back a little bit?
The Knicks are going to fade back. The Knicks don't have the talent right now. The Knicks have a scrappy roster. Tim Hardaway Jr. plays for the Knicks, who played with Atlanta Hawks for all those years. Courtney Lee is up there. Kylo Quinn may get traded. He's in the expiring contract. Also, you have guys like, Ron Baker come off the bench as well. Michael Beasley and Lance Thomas are platooning, John. And Michael Beasley can score the best of them, but Jeff Hornacek wants to go with defense and Lance Thomas, which taking scoring off the floor, and Michael Beasley. So you have that going with the Knicks. I think the Knicks are a mixed match roster. Steve Mills and Scott Perry, the GM and president, have to do a better job of improving that roster around Kristaps Porzingis. Now, with a lot of flack given Tim Hardaway Jr. for getting that big contract, 4 years to $71 million. Timmy has done his job for the most part, but Jared Jack, former Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, on the roster as well. You got him up there playing well for the Knicks. They just signed Trey Burke, guard from Michigan. So the Knicks, to me, are just trying to scrap along and try to make it. And if Jared Jack's your starting point guard, that's pretty not good. I mean, Jared Jack's not a bad player, but at 34 years old, he shouldn't be your point guard. Come near injuries. That's just my view of it, John.
All right. Well, so then creeping up the list there, where do you see it playing out from 6 through 8? Let's start there. 6 through 8. We'll say the Wizards. We'll put them out of the mix for now, just for the sake of conversation. So 6 through 8, where do you think that?
Actually, when you look at the loss column, they're all kind of jumbled up together, and it's even how Philadelphia has less losses than Detroit and Milwaukee does. So I feel like, because Robert Covington's my dude, I want him to get in the playoffs for Philadelphia's sake, but I just feel like Milwaukee's trying to find a big man on the trade market, trying to get a big man like DeAndre Jordan, but they want to keep on giving up draft picks to bring in guys. They brought in Eric Bledsoe from Phoenix to be the point guard. The Bucks have a lot of guys of the same size and interchangeable. Thon Maker, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak. You have him out there. You have Tony Snell. You have a lot of guys of the same height and the same skill sets. They need a rim protector, a rim stopper. I think DeAndre Jordan would help them push on the top. The Pistons. You look at the Pistons, John. They lost Reggie Jackson again to the injury, so they can't keep him healthy. Ish Smith is just now running the show in Detroit. So Detroit's being killed by injuries, and that's what's killed them all these years. Reggie Jackson can't stay healthy. Indiana, I'm just surprised Victor Oladipo and Sabonis is playing as well after they traded away Paul George. And but leading right to Paul George, they have a lot more ball movement and player movement now. Nate McMillan is actually playing fast. I mean, Nate McMillan was one of them slow it down kind of guys on offense and defense when he pulled in Seattle. So he's reinventing himself now as he's gotten to Indiana to become their head coach. So looking at it, man, I think the young Sixers will falter eventually, and the Knicks won't catch up. So I think, as we're saying now, the pace of Indiana and Detroit, well, Milwaukee and Detroit, they will get in there. It's just a matter of between the Wizards and also Miami. It just kind of depends on how it all shakes out after the All-Star break for his wins loss. So somebody gets hot, they can be up to the 4 seed even, or the 3 seed. Cleveland's not playing that well right now. I think in the Eastern Conference you have John, Boston, and Toronto are going to be 1 and 2 probably, most likely, unless Cleveland gets hot. I don't see Miami. They lost Deion Waiters for the whole year to ankle injury. I don't see Miami really jumping up and going on a big streak. They'll probably win 3 or 4 here, then lose a couple here. They're kind of that team that kind of wins the one more than they lose. Keeps it going all year long. So I see Miami's roster. Washington Wizards don't have a bench, man. Their bench is god awful. And that's the problem. When Scott goes to his bench, they just falter. They've signed Mike Scott. They brought in Jody Meeks. They brought in guys for their bench, but nothing's working right. Nothing's sticking. So I just feel like the Eastern Conference, once you get below Cleveland, they just pretty much, feeding. They pretty much feed for the top 3 teams in the conference, if you ask me. So it really wouldn't matter per se. But if it's someone wants to play, they're going to make a trade and do it. But the problem, John, is a lot of the cap room this summer won't be there because they went so crazy last offseason. So it's not going to be that money on the open market for guys. So do you want to be a buyer or do you want to be a seller? Do you want to, go out there and pawn off an asset of second round or first round pick for a guy that may not help you, won't help you beat Cleveland, won't help you beat Boston or Toronto in the Eastern Conference? So that's what GMs have to weigh right now. The risk and reward of just trying to be a playoff seed, not realistically knowing you can't win anything.
So let me ask you this before we get into breaking down the top 3 teams in the East. Do you think that the disparity in the level of whether it be talent or play between the top 3 and the rest of the East is indicative of, I guess, what? What is it indicative of? Is it all these super teams that have been being formed over the course of the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years? Is it drop off in talent coming into the league, or that talent coming into the league too early, not being ready, needing time to develop? Where do you point to kind of identify the reason that? Because basically right now, JR, you and I can sit here and look at this and say, okay, well, it's going to be the Celtics, Raptors, Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Those 3 teams, pick your 2. Everybody else is kind of just an afterthought at this point.
It's salary cap, and it's the way teams manage themselves. Think about the Washington Wizards. If you're capped out, I don't know if we can get deep into the cap right here, but if you're capped out, the Wizards are. Otto Porter's offered a max deal. Does Otto Porter really change the needle for you? You know what I'm saying? So you're having to pay guys just to pay guys because you can't replace them. So the Miami Heat, Deion Waiters, if they overpay him to keep him, James Johnson, Goran Dragic, those guys are going to make you beat Toronto, Boston, or Cleveland. But you have to pay them because you can't replace them because you're capped out. So the salary cap rules of the NBA kind of force you to overpay to keep guys because if you lose them, you're going to be tanking. Like, let's just be honest. Atlanta Hawks, they're rebuilding and tanking. Orlando Magic is rebuilding and tanking. So is Brooklyn. So is Chicago. Now, Charlotte's supposed to be trying to contend for something. So they have no excuse. But it's just like that when you're capped out, you can't sign for agents. All you have is a mid-level exception to bring guys in. So you have to kind of overpay your own to stay halfway relevant, which puts you in a purgatory, which means you're not good enough to get a high pick, but you're not good enough to win anything. So a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference are stuck in NBA purgatory. They're not rebuilding and they're not contending, so they're just kind of in the middle there. And the worst place you want to be in the NBA is stuck in the middle. Because on a 7-game series, you can't win.
Yeah, and then looking at the top 3 teams now, let's get into that a little bit, JR. So you've got the Celtics, Raptors have kind of risen a little bit above the Cavaliers. As you said, the Cavaliers are struggling a little bit right now. Which it's weird to me. They've been hot and cold. So coming out of the Christmas season into the beginning of January, they weren't playing too poorly. They had strung together, I believe, like 7 wins out of 9 or something along those lines in a stretch there. And now they're on the flip side of that. So, what team are you going to get down the stretch? Now, it's tough to bet against LeBron James, but does he have enough left in the tank to carry a team? He's done that before, but as a much younger man. So it's hard to doubt him based on his track record. But at the same time, when does that ability start to wear off a little bit in terms of being able to put a team on your back for an entire stretch run of the season and into the postseason?
Yeah, for all time spares no one. It's coming. Wilson, it's happened to LeBron. It's going to come so fast he don't realize he hit him. It's going to hit him like a ton of bricks. That's the thing about it. What's going to happen, and this is Cleveland's last year to contend. I think he's out of Cleveland. I know people say he may stay. Look at the roster. Why would he stay there? And you're capped. You have no assets. You can't really change the roster. So I think he's out of there. Based on just the roster alone and the assets they have to get better, he's out of there. Yeah,
and then to dovetail off of that, do you want to stay in a situation where you have to put in max? And this is not to say that he doesn't or won't, but put in max effort every night just to keep the team on top. As opposed to going to a team where you can lighten your load a little bit, still contend. You can take nights off. The NBA is a grind, man. It's a long season. When you say guys take nights off, it's not a knock against them. You've got to maintain your body. You've got to be able to take nights off here and there, whether it means you're on the court kind of taking it easy, taking a night off, quote unquote, or literally on the bench taking a night off. He might be better served to look for a situation like that where he's not. He may be top billing, but he's not carrying the entire load.
Watch out for Philadelphia. That could be a spot for him. They're young and up and coming. They need a spark. Philadelphia could be a LeBron landing spot. I know it's not what we're talking about this show. I'm just throwing it out there. It could be a LeBron landing spot, Philadelphia.
All right, well, hit me up with the Celtics real quick. I'm not, frankly, the Raptors are there. If you ask me, my personal opinion, it's going to come down to Cleveland and Boston. I think the Raptors will definitely be a force, obviously, as the season goes on. But once playoff time comes,
lucky. If they say number 1 seed, they can avoid them to the conference final. They pretty much get the leftovers of Cleveland and Toronto.
Correct.
So Boston a good spot. Kyrie Irving is really balling the Brad Stevens system. Al Horford is playing the 4, not the 5, and you have roster balance with Boston right now. Also, guys knowing their roles, and it's not so much based behind one dude who's 5 foot nothing. So Boston has a chance, and Kyrie Irving is flourishing in the environment, which is stricken above LeBron James. So I feel like the Boston Celtics will probably come out of the East. They'll probably beat the Cavs in 6 games and go play Golden State in the finals, which we'll talk about later with Golden State in the Western Conference. But I feel like as we sit in the day, I look at Boston being come out the East.
Because we're still assuming that if the Cavs and the Raptors are a matchup either in the Eastern Conference Finals or prior to that, the Cavs still have the Raptors number, correct?
Yeah, the Raptors, they're in their heads.
Right.
So, yeah, and that's the Eastern Conference preview, people. I hope y'all enjoy that. We'll holler at you after the break.
Kane is in the building.
For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
Hello, college basketball fans. This is Donnie Tyndall, former head basketball coach, and we're getting ready to have a top 3 with Tyndall, with JR the Bossman and John, myself, as we analyze the college basketball season team by team, break down stats and facts, and give you all the basketball scoop across the country on a weekly basis. We hope you'll join us and look forward to talking hoops with you on the Bossman Show.
All right, folks, time for your Western Conference mid-season review here on the Bossman Show. Now, John, looking at the Western Conference, it's a 9-team race already, man. And you got 6 tankers and 9 contenders in the Western Conference.
The tankers are out in force in the West, bro.
Boy, Sacramento, Dallas, the Lakers, we know why they're tanking. Memphis, Phoenix, and the Utah Jazz. You know, these teams used to be in the playoffs all the time. Now they're just stuck in that tank mode with Atlanta, Orlando, Chicago, and Brooklyn.
Yeah, if you would have, I just started to jump you, but if you would have told me, even say, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if I would have told you, in a few years, the Grizzlies, Lakers, and Mavericks would all be cellar dwellers, you'd have laughed at me, right?
Yes. And the Tankers Paradise is coming up this weekend with Zach Randolph returning to Sacramento and Memphis. That's the Tankers Paradise. Been spending most of our life living in the Tankers Paradise. Taking in the money. Young players in power. Picks after picks. They sour.
Well, listen, listen, I don't want to stop you from singing because God knows you know how I love when you sing, but let's dig into this. Let's go 6 through 9. Pelicans, Clippers, Blazers, Nuggets. So, first of all, I have to tell you that the longer that I see the Pelicans name out there, it's the worst. How could you ever name a pro sports team the Pelicans, right?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry you could come up with something.
Or the Thunder. What?
At least the Thunder is it's got a little power behind Pelicans. Come on, Pelicans. Come on.
Yes.
Yes,
and just FYI, there's no Jazz in Utah. There's no Jazz in Utah. I've never heard Jazz in Utah ever.
Right.
Honest. I'm just being real. I mean, it's I feel you. Yeah, the Pelicans, that name's got awful. And this is to keep the Pelicans, John. Do you keep the Brow and DeMarcus Cousins happy? How do you keep those two happy?
I don't know. I'm not sure. When I look at this, I sit here and I see a lot of parity in the second half of these Western Conference standings. So Pelicans, Clippers, Blazers, Nuggets. Who really that's the sacrificial lamb. Nobody in that group is gonna step up in the first round and knock off one of the top 4, right?
You're right, but I wouldn't mind seeing Houston beat the Clippers first round. That would be great for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because I just want to see if they fight in the playoffs like they do like right now.
So we're looking for a 2-7 matchup. So we're looking for a Rockets, because let's be honest here, the Rockets ain't. I mean, the Warriors are going to finish number one. They're heads and tails above everybody else. So the Rockets and the Clippers, they need to hold it down where they're at right now, so we can get a series long mini. It'll be like a mini series, like a made for TV mini series, right?
Yes. The only team that get in trouble, and that's just on paper, is the Pelicans because of their size, with Cousins and Anthony Davis. The Warriors will not want to play the Pelicans. That's one matchup they wouldn't want to play because they don't have the size to compete with Davis and Cousins. Because that means you have to go play Zaza Pachulia or JaVale McGee.
Yeah, but it would be tough for them, over a 5-game series. But I mean,
yeah, defensively, I would say it would be kind of messed
awkward.
up.
It would be awkward for them. That matchup would be awkward.
Exactly. So, yeah, that will kind of throw them off to say, hey, let me do this. Nah, let's not do that. Not a good idea. Not a good idea there. So, Portland, Denver, Clippers, Pelicans. Denver is without Paul Millsap right now, so that helps. That they're staying tough with Paul Millsap being out. So Denver could get him back, then they keep going on a run with him. But also, what's funny about this is that any one of these 5 teams, OKC, New Orleans, the Clippers, Portland, and Denver, can get that 5 through 8 seed. Somebody gonna be on the outside looking in. If you ask me,
that's what I was just going to ask you. Yep, I was just going to ask you who you think is going to be the person left without a chair.
Portland, maybe Portland or Denver. The Clippers have guys that sit out the cellar. They're playing with GG League guys, Coach Stackhouse kind of guys, and they're still sort of there. Now, this is also interesting. That 3-4 matchup, the Spurs or the Timberwolves, that's going to be a battle for number 3. I mean, if it was me, I want the 3 seed, not the 4 seed. I try to avoid Golden State as long as I can. That's just my thinking about that. Now, seeing a Timberwolves Thunder 4-5 series would be interesting. See if Tom Thibodeau can get those guys to play defense in Minnesota. I think that'd be interesting as well. The Golden State, John, I'm gonna tell you this right now. They have to be cognizant of their losses or where they concentrate, because to get this, Boston each column is only 2 games behind in the loss column for as best record. That they're gonna want home court in the finals of this Boston. So you have to be careful about not losing track of that and not being having lapse about getting the best record when it comes time for the finals.
Yeah, and I just, the Warriors is a great team, but they also have to recognize that, the book is kind of out on them. The Cavs kind of put the book, put their business out there, so to speak. So if you can play the same type of ball that the Cavs played against them over the course of the past few years in the finals, then, there's a roadmap out there, right?
Yeah, but everybody don't have the great LeBron James to.
And I get that part of it, but as long as you're taking that approach, even though you might not have the talent, it's there. It's there to be had, right?
Yeah, it's definitely there to be had. Definitely, most definitely already had. So, Houston. Don't they can out Golden State. I don't think they can do it. And I just don't.
I don't see it. I agree with you.
But it will remind us of the old Mavs Kings playoff series. It would be like 142 to 130 in playoff games.
Right. It'd be like an all-star game score.
No D at all.
175 to 174.
Exactly.
No overtime.
No overtime. Just straight up down the court, run up down the court. So there'll be no defense being played. You know what? Why did Mike D'Antoni shut off his cool porn stash? Why did he do that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I miss his cool porn stash.
It kind of freaks me out seeing him now, to be honest with you.
So yeah, I just see that San Antonio to me, Kawhi Leonard has been hurt all year long, and they're a year older. I mean, they keep up with Golden State? Can they keep up with Houston and running with them up and down the floor?
I think that San Antonio, they could challenge, but they need some help. They would need like an injury to slow somebody down. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen straight up. And that's not to disparage the Spurs. Obviously, they've got talent and they've been there. They've got the longevity. But as time goes on, you need a little help. Everybody needs a little help. But when you're trying to take down, number one, the young guns, guys got talent that can run up and down the court. If you can get a little help in slowing them down, then more power to you. It's just going to help you out.
Exactly. I just don't see it. And I'm not scared about Minnesota, John, is this. Tom Thibodeau likes to wear his guys out. He's the reason Derrick Rose burnt out. He's the reason Joakim Noah needs are done. He calls Boozer to go down fast because Thibodeau don't use his bench. He runs you into the ground. Might be about 18. He's still playing starters out there in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go.
Right.
That's how Derrick Rose got hurt the first time.
Yeah, and see, that's that goes back to what we were saying about LeBron in the Eastern Conference segment. Is he can't continue to do that. Like, he's played a lot of minutes in his career, bro. Like, I mean, he played a lot of minutes when he was coming up. He was 20 years old, carrying a team on his back in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Playing 50 minutes a night sometimes. More than that if they were in OT and whatnot. So that's a serious issue once you get into playoff basketball, especially when you're contending to try to stay in the hunt as the Timberwolves are. If you got your guys wearing down 40, 50 games into the season, and you got to start giving guys nights off because of the toll that the first part of the season is taking on their body, then you're going to have no gas left in the tank once playoff time comes.
Yeah, and you know what else? You know what else is happening too? That Tom Thibodeau still has long practices. 2 3-hour practices, because dude, you're running these young dudes out. Like, you're gonna run these dudes take time off back in their careers because you just don't know how to chill.
Right.
Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns should be like, I'll get me away from this dude.
Like, mix in a walkthrough once in a while, right?
Yes, because I'm like, now think about all those old Bulls people. They're all ran to the ground.
Wrecked.
Like, he screwed up. Like, if I'm Derrick Rose, I see him when the Hawks play the Cavaliers February 9th. Derrick Rose, I'm going to say, bro, you know why you ain't been healthy all these years? Tom Thibodeau ran you to the ground. I'm going to tell him that.
He'll say, yep.
I'm just trying to tell him. I feel like dude ran you to I think it's his fault. It's not you. It's him. He didn't know how to chill.
All right, well, listen, let's tie this thing off real quick, okay? So we are in agreement that the Warriors are going to finish top billing, right?
Yes.
Rockets more than likely are going to come out 2, and the Spurs they'll probably battle it out. Spurs, Rockets 2-3, but more than likely we're set with the top 3, right? Where they are right now.
Yeah, and Minnesota looks like it's pulling away from that 5 to 8 group or 5 through 9 group. So yeah.
So basically we're saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm good with it being Minnesota, Golden State, San Antonio, and Minnesota. But my thing about it is this: depending on the 3, 6, and the 4, 5 seeds, we may have one of those 5, 9 teams come through. But I don't see it happening.
So we're basically looking at the rest of the season in the West is basically just jockeying for position and matchup come playoff time, right?
Yes. Barring any big trades. The trade deadline is February 8th.
What's your nightmare scenario for? So we say the Warriors are probably going to face up with the Blazers or the Nuggets, one of those two.
Probably, yeah.
No problems there. Rockets are we're hoping they play the Clippers in the 7th seed because we want to see that mini series play out on TV. And then a nightmare scenario for the Warriors, you're saying, would be having to face the Pelicans, maybe
because of Davis and Cousins' size. Yes.
In round 2.
Yes.
So if they got past the Spurs, potentially.
Well, see, if you're 2, 3, or 6, 7, you're off the side of the bracket.
Yeah, so they got to be in an odd. They got to get up to 5 for that to happen.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. Basically, that we'll keep our eye on the 4, 5, 6 to see where we're at.
Pretty much, because that's kind of what's going to determine what happens with who. Pretty much, there.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep my eye on it, and I'm gonna come back to you if I see some movement that you didn't predict. I'm gonna make sure to let you know. Hey, listen, you got to tighten your game up.
As you know, on Top 3 with Tyndall, and on anything on the show, I'm a good at premonitions. I'm good at prognosticating.
No doubt.
Well, folks, that's been your Western Conference review, midseason review here on the Bossman Show. We out.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.